This movie is the first of a small series with an overview of how to get solar system data out of WISE NeoWISE. There's a longer video that goes through the WISE NeoWISE data releases, but this graphic is a high-level summary of all the WISE and NeoWISE data releases. The 4 colors here correspond to the 4 WISE bands. When we had cryogen, all 4 bands were operating. When we started to run out of cryogen, only 3 bands were operating. When the cryogen ran out, we had only 2 bands operating. The spacecraft turned off for a little while, then was reactivated, but there was still no more cryogen, so it was still only possible to use 2 bands. There are several different data releases shown here. The WISE All Sky release corresponds to when all 4 channels were operating. The 3-band cryo release corresponds to that relatively brief time when only 3 bands were operating. The NeoWISE post-cryo release consists of when only 2 bands were operating near the beginning of the mission. All WISE is called that because at the time we thought that was all there was going to be. The NeoWISE reactivation consists of data taken with 2 channels after the NeoWISE spacecraft was reactivated. The releases happened on an annual basis, and each new release added more data to the NeoWISE reactivation dataset. The spacecraft was turned off for good in August 2024. The different data products that are available vary with each release. The Atlas images are summed up individual exposures into mosaics, and photometry can be done on those Atlas images. The individual exposures and the photometry done from those exposures, however, is a separate data product. Since solar system objects move, you want this, the individual exposures and the photometry done from those exposures. The preliminary release is here, but that's obsolete. The All Sky data release included both Atlas images and photometry, as well as exposures and photometry. The 3-band cryo release similarly included Atlas images and exposures and photometry from them both. The 2-band post-cryo release did not include Atlas images or photometry, but it did include individual exposures and photometry from the exposures. The All WISE release included just Atlas images and photometry from those images. It did not include exposures or photometry from the exposures because all of those data had already been released. For the reactivated NeoWISE, Atlas images and photometry from the Atlas images are not part of that data product. Exposures and photometry from the exposures are included. For solar system objects, it all comes back to searching a range of right ascension and declination as a function of time, and you need to look over the individual photometry from the individual exposures. You need to search each delivery separately because each delivery covers a different span of time. If you have a new object or an object for which non-Newtonian effects on the orbit are important, you need to use the minor planet center tracklets to find the right ascension and declination range and search on that. If you have a known object, or more specifically, an object that was known at the time of the data delivery, and it's okay to just have a quick look of what kind of data WISE has, you can use something called the Known Solar System Object Association Catalog. That was part of each data delivery. You can search from the WISE image service, which is interactive and allows you to interactively move between the catalogs and the images, or you can search from the IRSA catalog service. Both of these tools allow SQL restrictions on the individual columns, and you can do specific asteroid and comet searches. The next movies in these series cover these options.